Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning into my tarot channel. I have a reading today. I'm using the Kim Krans Wild Unknown. It's super old, so I don't have the book was great, but it was falling apart and I pretty much memorized everything. So I just kind of use it in a loose way now. I have a couple questions on my mind. So the first question is, what is hidden from the viewer? What is hidden from the viewer? What's hidden is the venom. There may be someone or something that there has been some toxicity, and I think you're actually not aware of how much this person may have like a vendetta against you, but I also think that you're not aware of your own. I think there were reasons for having some venom, because you needed to protect yourself. So I think you may be subconsciously operating in a way where it's like self-protection against venom. What else is hidden from the viewer? I want a little more on that. Okay, we got the Pilgrim. You're on a quest. You're on a spiritual journey. And you don't know right now what the Mecca will be, you know, where the final destination is, such as life, right? Sorry for my sort of dirty pillow. I think my dog was on this pillow. It's just sort of for the car, my back. For driving, because I have a bad back. You may have some back problems. I try to let whatever comes into the reading be part of the reading. And the back represents upper back. Louise Hay says is emotional support, and if you're not getting it, your upper back could hurt. Lower back is financial support. I want to know what Spirit wants us to know right now about the Venom and the pilgrimage quest, the Underworld. I think that there's a lot of things recently that you've been encountering that are dark, that are like you. I'm getting an energy of you that you're sort of like a happy-go-lucky person in some ways, but then you've been encountering experiences that are like the other coin, the other side of life, where you're like, I don't like this, and you've never been maybe in a dark situation, or maybe you haven't seen a dark thing like this. I'm thinking of that movie, I think it's called Poor Things, where Emma Stone is the main character, and she's sort of like a Frankenstein-esque woman who has to learn about the world because she has the brain of like a toddler or something, and she does eventually learn. And there's one scene where she sees, like, they're on a cruise and they stop somewhere, and she sees this like pit of people in poverty and despair, and she asks, like, what is that? And she says, you know, the guy says it's people who are poor and struggling, and they're probably all dying and sick. And she's like, we have to go help them and give them our money. And he says, you can't, because, you know, if you go down there, it's very dangerous. You could get hurt. They'll rob you. They'll hurt you. And so it's sort of, that's an energy I'm getting here, that you're realizing self-protection is really where it's at right now for you. I'm getting a big heart that wants to help others, but I'm also getting that, like, you're preserving yourself because you've been through some darkness here. A healer. You are a healer. That came through really intensely. You are a healer, and you've like tried to, sorry, I got cut off. You may have tried to make things easier for other people in their lives a lot. Sorry, I'm starting to channel a little bit, so coming from my sorry, I'm being pushed back now. Okay, yeah, you felt like very like someone who's always trying to do things for other people. I'm seeing like a what is it called, a wheelbarrow. Oh, I'm also thinking of that poem by T.S. Eliot. Called, I think, A Red Wheelbarrow. It's imagistic poetry, which is, it's just sort of about the essence of things, and then we're supposed to like make extrapolations and metaphors, and I'll put it down, it's called The Red Wheelbarrow, and it's about sort of finding beauty and simplicity and poeticism and simplicity, I would say. I think you've had to do that a lot in your life. I think it's T.S. Eliot. You may want to do some reading right now, because I think that it's going to calm your nervous system. It doesn't matter what you read. It could be CNN, it could be New York Times, it could just be Psychology Today article, it could be a book, it could be an old book you've read before, it's just anything. I think it really calms the mind. And I'm just getting an energy that you're very all over the place with your energy. The gem. I think that you are realizing your own inner worth, because I think there may have been some people who tried to take that from you, or tried to, but I'm getting that that's more about these people, and you're realizing that now with distance, that people who have maybe 3 different sets of people, or 3 different individuals, people who tried to put you down or disparage you or put you in adverse situations, that's about them, and it's taken you a long time to realize that. The prayer. Spirit wants you to know that, like, you are a living prayer, is what I'm hearing. Like, just the way that you try to be a good person. If you make mistakes, you say, you know what, I'm sorry, or you try to work it out with people. And Spirit's also telling me that you, like, have a lot of good in your heart, that, like, if you mess up, you try to take accountability, which can also be to your disadvantage, because a lot of people don't do that, and they may feel like, who do you think you are, trying to make me be accountable? Spirit, what's the biggest message for the viewer right now that is about their growth and learning of the higher self? What's the message for the higher self? Eros. So I think there's love coming, and also just, like, the more you get, I was listening to Abraham Hicks the other day. I was like, just vibing with that energy, and sometimes I don't, if I'm in a bad mood, just to be super real. I'm not always an Abraham Hicks person. Sometimes if you're in a dark place, you're like, this isn't possible right now, like, to feel good. But love, she was talking about getting in the vibration of love. Love, okay, I just have to quote Corinthians here, just a little bit. Love is patient, love is kind. Pretty much all I'm gonna. Oh, I do want to say, this is my favorite part of Corinthians, which is not often quoted. For now we see through a glass darkly, but when I know and I am known, I will see all at once, which is not the correct exact phrasing, but basically it means we don't know what the heck is going on here in life. Things happen, we don't know why. We see through a glass darkly, meaning, like, we have our human perception of things, not our divine perception. So I think there's also people in your life that you've been trying for a long time to understand their behavior. Why me? The answer is dysfunction. The answer is these people have problems, and I'm seeing that you are a healer who wants to help people. Problem is that not everybody is in a place where they want to be helped. We have been spending a lot of time in nature, which is great because it has a low resistance. And I'm getting also a journey here. Like, I'm being shown, like, a hero's journey. Like, I'm going to put a link to Zizek, who is a philosopher who talks about the hero's journey in pop culture, which will explain it to you better. But it's basically just Jesus is a hero's journey. Or, like, if you've ever seen that movie Apocalypto, that's a hero's journey. Really, a lot of literature is the hero's journey. It's sort of like this individual, it's an archetypal journey. Jungian, or Campbell writes about it. Like, the hero is cast, or the Ramayana is a good example, the Upanishads, is cast into adverse situations, and they have a disadvantage, and then they must rise to the occasion and, you know, fulfill their destiny, but also, like, become self-actualized. Now I'm thinking of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is a triangle. At the bottom is food and shelter, and at the top is self-actualization. I think your self-actualization is actually coming from turning this triangle upside down, which sounds ridiculous. I feel like, I mean, maybe you do have food and shelter, but I feel like you're flipping your life upside down. You're realizing that what is working, like the resources, the way that they've been coming, or the way it's happening, it's not working anymore. So you're having to go into the forest of the depths of your mind, to figure out a plan, and it's scary. But the thing is, the forest has a path. You just have to get on the path and follow the signs. Follow the markers on the trail, okay? That's what a Spirit's telling me. There's a path for you. The forest also, you know, can be about our primal instincts in terms of a Jungian sense, like our sort of animalistic impulses. The riddle reversed. Yeah, you've been really trying to make sense of these people's behavior. I'm feeling like a lot of rejection. I feel like you feel like you're like an old maid or something, and if you're a man, like the man version of that. But I also read the crone as deep wisdom. I think with these experiences, you felt like, now I know, like, to trust my gut more, even more, you know? Now I know, like, I'm getting that you're someone who's really in tune, and like every micro expression that someone makes, like the mirror neuron stuff that's happening is like wild. Like you're really in tune with people's feelings. And I think before that scared you, and now you're trusting it. A poet. I think that you use words to like placate people a lot, and I think actually that's a bad habit here, is what I want to read it as. I think that you need to use your gift of gab to be real with people instead of trying to make everything nicey nice. And I want to get a message from these other people who I guess were like putting you down or making things hard for you, or it seems like there was some conflict with them, and I'm getting 3 sets of people, or 3 groups of, or 3 people, or just 3 groups of people, or 3 different situations. Sorry, that's not our card. No, that's not our card either. The tear and the fault line. Okay, yeah, this person, these people realize they crossed the line in some way, and also they feel sad, just to be honest. They feel like they know that they can't like come back from what they did, and they pushed you a lot to like show them what their boundaries were, I'm hearing. And you were like, oh, I had no boundaries, I love you, whatever, no matter what. And then at a certain point you were like, oh no, this is my boundary. And you were like, I'm not gonna like deal with whatever this BS is. And yeah, I think I'm getting multiple situations. And they want you to know that they see you as these people who I guess are sort of enemies to you. They're feeling like you sustained something. Like the way you behaved, you didn't like, you're like sustaining a modicum of like decorum or ethics. Like you didn't like retaliate. You didn't like do what they did. You didn't stoop to their level. You just pointed out like, this is not good. The stone. Yeah, I love this. It's an ancient alchemist symbol of the square and the triangle and the circle all being together. It's sort of about unity of, I guess I would say mind, body, spirit, but it might be interpreted other ways. You know, I'm just thinking immediately of The Family Stone, which is a movie I love. And it's like that movie, Sarah Jessica Parker comes and she's like she's like sort of this corporate uptight girlfriend, but you know, we all know that people who are uptight have a secret freak flag and wild side. But she tries so hard to make this family like her. Okay, this is how it's linked. She tries and tries, and the family, they have issues and they're gruff and they don't exactly like her, and they're projecting their own stuff onto her, and of course she reacts and is upset. But then at a certain point she just kind of says, I don't really care what these people think. And that's when things get really good in the movie. Like she starts like loosening up, she starts having fun, she kind of falls in love with her boyfriend's brother instead of him, and then her boyfriend falls in love with her sister. So I'm not saying that is the goal here, that we should all like swap mates and whatever. I'm saying something in the energy changed at a certain point when she stopped caring whether the family liked her. Like they go get some drinks and they just start dancing, and they're not like wildly drunk, they're just like, she just loosens up, she just starts laughing and telling somebody, oh, the sister-in-law's like boyfriend that he should like go get her, and you know, they see that a different side of her, and it allows everybody to change. Okay, so I'm getting that you have an energy like that. Like you come into situations and you shake people up because they can't put you in a box, okay? And the sword. Yeah, I think you've had to be really on guard and defensive, and maybe even verbally and even legally defensive in some situations. I just got a big feeling of relaxation, though. I think that, like, you needed to remove yourself. I'm just seeing, like, an extension cord being unplugged so that an appliance can rest, or a car being turned off so the engine can rest. Like, you tried to make it work with these groups of people who were coming against you. You tried to be like, oh, well, maybe you're just like taking things personally, or like maybe we can work it out, or then you were like, I have to just remove myself. Yeah, because they weren't going to match your energy. They weren't going to change the interaction. And I'm getting that these people may have mental health issues. They may have a lot of ego stuff. They may be threatened by you, but I don't think you were like thinking of things that way with them at all. Also, I'm getting these people, or this person, or multiple people, they saw you as like being not a crutch, but that you couldn't like support yourself, or you couldn't like be serious about life. Like, they didn't see you as practical when maybe you were the more practical one in some ways. The Starborn. The energy between you, Spirit is telling me, between you and this group, it's like, it's not important anymore, because you're with the Starborn and there's a little egg there. You're on a new path of life and rebirth and sort of beautiful things happening, that like it doesn't matter anymore. And Abraham Hicks also says, in terms of trauma or childhood trauma, the first step is to stop thinking about it. Not like we're putting our head in the sand, but we're redirecting our thoughts. And yes, maybe get some trauma work. Go work with someone and get some help with that. But Abraham Hicks says the first step is, I would say, once you've done some of that processing, stop thinking about it. Second step is don't talk about it. Don't talk about it in terms of these negative things. And then the third step is just detaching and opening to the new and the good in our lives. So yeah, I want to share this citrine with you. It is for clear thought and changing our thoughts. It activates the solar plexus, the crown chakra, and I think that might be it. Maybe the sacral chakra. Anyway, I was looking for it last night and I couldn't find it, but to do my osteomancy reading, or my divination, it's very important to me. It's a tiny, tiny stone. I've had it for years, and I keep it in my compartment of my car, or just like the little cup holder. And it's about change of thought, but it's also about abundance and bringing in good things. So I'm just hearing the quote, like, one mustard grain of hope. And that's from the Bible. That, like, if you just have, like, and it's relating to how tiny this is, and yet how powerful. I think that you're in a situation where you felt really betrayed, and I want you to have a mustard grain of hope, because I'm also hearing that, like, getting through the eye of the camel quote, like, I mean, the eye of the needle. They say, there's a saying about heaven, like, if you bring your camel and all your, like, stuff and all your belongings, you won't get through the eye of the needle, which is how you have to get through heaven. And so that can be taken materialistically, like, less is more, be immaterial, but it can also be like baggage, like, and I'm not saying heaven, like I think we can experience heaven and hell right here on earth, and purgatory, you know, so it doesn't have to be in some future time after you die. So yeah, sorry, kind of an intense reading, and it just lost me, so I think I was channeling pretty hardcore there. But I'm sending you so much love. I'm thinking of the number 222, which adds up to 6. That was very intuitive. And 6 is a number of love and romance, and people who are born on the 6th will have romantic love will be the focus of their life, and usually starting at a young age. And I'm just getting this feeling of innocence and power. And I want to just get a closing message from Spirit for you before we end the reading. Spirit, what's a closing message? I'm seeing an image of a rose. A rose and the name Rosa. I'm picking up on some geographic locations. The East Coast, California, Florida, Spain, Hawaii. These may be important places. I don't know, for you. New York City, Boston. I'm picking up on Missouri, or also just somebody in the Midwest is watching. I can feel you. Also, the number 2 can be about partnership. So this may be a time of partnership for you. Just trying to see what I see here. In your energy, I feel like there's a lot of things that I'm almost seeing like strings tied onto you, and there's all these balloons. This is the image that I'm being shown by Spirit. It's almost like something's trying to lift you up, okay? Spirit's trying to show you the lift up point. And something, that's why I brought up the eye of the camel. I was going to say, it could be emotional stuff that holds us back from finding heaven on earth, okay? It could be toxic baggage that holds us back from finding heaven on earth. So what are you holding on to that's keeping you from getting into the eye of the needle on your camel? You don't need all this stuff. You don't need to think about these negative situations. You just need peace. And I'm going to close the message with a holy blessing from Mother Mary and Saint Michael, and I love you and wish you all the best. Also, some other names I heard that may be relevant were Vinny, Vaughn, Leela, Louise, Nicola, John, Devin, Ashley, Ashton, Mina, Nina, Elena, Carlos, and Jill. I don't know. I'm also thinking of some colors here. So I'm seeing the color yellow, which to me, I'm just being reminded immediately of the yellow wallpaper, which is about a book, I think in the early 1900s, written about a woman whose husband is gaslighting her, and she starts to see hallucinations in the wallpaper, and it's really good. I think that these people may have been making you see things in a different way, but Spirit's wanting you to see. Spirit's like clearing away all this smoke of what these people wanted you to see yourself as, and letting you see yourself as the divine being that you are, that is full of love and light, and that's the message.